For the first half, we will not have lethality. There is an urgent work thing that came up, and that's fine because you gotta take care of what you gotta take care of. But we do have our four other players here, and so we'll go through our ritual table talk. That's a very firm part of any kind of role playing game, in my humble opinion. Because hey, it's been a week, and even though these people are your friends, what's going on? Anything come up? Something conversational, or if there's a question about something that happened last week that needs to be addressed, this is the perfect opportunity for that to happen. So if you all don't have that, everyone talks about different things like session zeros, or and those are good as well. But table talk is a very essential part of any role playing game too, because at the end of any night, unless you're doing this as a pure profession, and not necessarily just for the love of the game or to spend time with people whose company you enjoy. This is a part of the experience, and so you all in the audience are also welcome to join in. To say your hellos or be a part of this as well, because it's a get together for you all as those who bear witness as the fickle gods over the puny mortals that are the characters in this wretched place known as Night City. Speaking of which, it looks like Ravenstar has been reminded of her either fickleness and or godliness, and she is giving a couple blessings to to some of the characters there. So thank you for doing so, Raven. And then for as long as you're around, thank you for modding as well. I think you have a game tonight too that you eventually will go over to. But for as long as we have you, thank you for being here. All right. Well, hey, you know what? Since JP, you are here among us, here at the start, we'll go with you. Is there anything in particular that has gone on this week, or anything interesting you want to bring up, or is there something that I, as your friend and host, can I help you shill? Do you have a podcast, a program, a channel, a YouTube, or anything that you want me or others to be aware of?
Gosh, I wish that were true anymore. I used to try to do those things, but I'm just too busy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I'm going to launch, a project, and I'll be recruiting players to do a Cyberpunk deep space game using the red system. Other than that, I think the only thing that I would like to shill, if I may, is if you're into tabletops and you're into niche tabletops, kind of like Cyberpunk is. I know it's more mainstream now because of the video game, but this game started out in the 80s. There's a system called the Genesis, which was made by a company called Six More Vodka, which are very talented video game artists that have done work for games like League of Legends and a couple of other projects I can't think of off the top of my head. And the Genesis is set 500 years after the fall of society due to what they call the Eschaton, which was a giant meteorite swarm that just bombarded the planet, extinction level event. And with it there was an alien fungus that has been slowly, over the last 500 years changing Earth. And you have this mix mash of, the survivors of the surface with cultures that still were able to maintain some level of pre-end of the world technology. And best of all, it's a free-to-play system. You can go to thegenesis.com and download all the rules, all the rule books, all the adventures. They made it free-to-play in 2021, and they are thinking about discontinuing the website. So
Get it while you can.
In a few months, you can't play it anymore. But I think it's a really cool system. It's very simple. It's very similar to Cyberpunk. It's got some crunch to it, but it's also a very narrative game. It has a very unique setting, since it's, instead of being like based in North America, it is set over in Europe. So you have a whole different like geography that you're working with.
All right, can you post that link over? If you want to throw it in our like Cyberpunk chat or something, I'll copy it over into general. But
Sure.
thank you for that.
Thank you.
I always like learning about this, and hey, especially if it's a system that might be on the verge of extinction itself. Uh, Everyone out there, give it a look, and if it's right for you, then play it. Or otherwise, if it inspires you, even if you don't run it, let that fuel your imagination for characters or adventures in other systems, or even I don't know if any of you out there like drawing characters or writing stories. Uh, this is also it's a bit of an unspoken thing, but many times you can just crack open a rule book to a game, and you can get lost in the process of creation, not just character creation or role playing, but in imagining circumstances that you want to write a short story about, or a poem, or you want to draw a character because there's a concept to something that's really cool. So collecting tabletop role-playing games doesn't oblige you to play them, because it can unlock a lot of different ideas in you to play that system, or to incorporate ideas in others, or just to create and think and process things, which itself opens you up to learning about our real world, so then you can escape it into fantasy and sci-fi with the various systems. I've done an inordinate amount of research into all sorts of things. I'm sure I'm on several lists online somewhere for all the weird shit that I've had to look up on on how much blood things or people have, or how quickly what's the blast radius of certain explosives or pew pews, or this kind of stuff happens.
You and every writer.
And when you play games like like Vampire the Masquerade or things like, your excuse is to, well, you see, Your Honor, this was for but your Google search clearly indicates that you are looking for how much blood the human body has, and the exsanguination process, and all sorts of medical stuff, and like I was enjoying a game with friends where we're all playing monsters that kill people and try and fight back, actually.
For reasons.
Yeah, Your Honor, #reasons. Oh, well, case dismissed.
Bringing up the...
It's like, is this person a murderer or a writer?
Yeah.
Right. It's bringing up the inspiration by art. I mentioned Six More Vodka is primarily an art company, so the art in that game is absolutely gorgeous.
And Raven, thank you for sharing that, by the way.
The last thing I'll say, since we're talking about art for inspiration before I pass the buck per se, is that another really cool RPG just for art is called Cult with a K. That is a very cool system, both in terms of its idea of what it is and who you are as a player character in that world, but its art is also top tier. That one isn't free. That one you had to pay for, but there you go. There's my weekly shill moment. Spreading some.
We do like good art around here.
Yep. All right, let's pop over. Actually, we'll just go down the line. Outback being piloted by Chameleon here. How you doing, sir? Anything going on in your realm, online or off, that you want to talk about here?
Not a lot online. It's all quiet on that Western Front, but offline I have... Well, that also wasn't me. Offline I have begun yet another world building project, because I'm addicted to building worlds. So
Hey yo.
What's it in?
Well, speaking to the previous conversation, being inspired, I was inspired by the root symbol system to make a D&D campaign where it's all animals, such.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
I remember that.
I've just been sitting and being like, what animal is an elf? And I settled on mice, by the way. Elves are mice and drow are rats. So
I mean, that parody works, I guess.
A fascinating thing similar to what you were what you were doing, like the equivalency of fantasy races to our animal world, is the accents that we give our fantasy races.
Oh man.
Because for many, like Elvish might be French, or dwarves are Scottish, and etc. But I wonder, if you come from a Spanish speaking country, how does that shift? Like, do you still have Scottish dwarves as a native Spanish speaker? And even then, if you are Spain Spanish, or if you're South American, and how that shifts, your own native land and language, how does that shift your perception? Because maybe to a Spaniard, we actually go to I don't know, like Italian for for their own reasons, because maybe some consonants are harder or softer or something. To them, the Italians are the dwarves or something. I love those thought processes, the equivalencies, right? I'm sorry, I cut you off, but what? So do continue. You're talking about an animal. Now, are you going to run this? Is this just theory crafting and world building for the sake of like entertainment, imagination, and?
More than likely, this is just going to fall to the bottom of my Google Docs with all the rest of them that I've done. But if I get more free time or a few more campaigns I'm in, and then yeah, maybe I'll dig up one and run it.
Well, if you ever recruit, please please let us know through here if anyone in our community would be welcome at your table. I'd love to
absolutely.
help fill it with passionate people. Also, hi, Ben.
Absolutely.
Felix just ran into my door.
Like he was galloping down the hall and then just
just like full on like head into the door to open it.
Also,
barreling into my room.
Also, I'm going to once again blame Tolkien for all of our fantasy accent attributations, because Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty sure they cast exclusively English people to play the elves.
And also, strangely enough, in the phenomenons, all the you have the space British, who are always the bad guys in sci-fi. So if you ever hear an English accent in space, that's the bad guy. Unquestionably.
if it is a high class English accent.
Oh well, yeah, that's true.
If it's a low class English accent, it's going to be your best friend.
Mm.
Yeah, if you can't actually understand what he's saying, but it's English, he's probably okay.
Well, anything else then? Are we gonna bop down to evil?
Bop on down.
All right, evil. How you doing, friend? What's going on?
Evil.
Evil.
I've ended up reinstalling Sea of Thieves, but other than that, I got nothing going on.
Do you have a crew in that game, or is this solo, or?
I got a couple friends who, I guess they've been playing it again recently, so.
Jumped in with them.
Yeah.
I just uninstalled that. I am not going back to the toxic pirate game.
No.
Oh no! Is there like a community aspect to it, or is it?
Sea of Thieves is pretty toxic. I mean, yeah, you're pirates. You're supposed to steal things, but yikes.
Oh, this is like PvP behavior.
Yeah, it's mainly, there's PvE VP, so there are enemies to fight, but there's also other players.
Kind of an open world pirate game where there's like you and your crew, and then like I guess 5 or 6 other crews all in the same open world.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the community's a mixed bag.
Well, if you have a crew though, Evil, then hopefully you you all are having, fun yourselves, and while you may run into other people, at least it's you and your friends building your island or your ship. It's basically Ultima Online at sea, says Bane. There's enemies to fight, but then someone else's ship comes along and kills you. Ah, okay.
For me personally, there's also just the skill gap. People who have been playing that nonstop since it released, I cannot keep up.
Well, that's sweaty no-lifers are they're the ultimate BBG in every game. So. Oh,
those kinds of people are why I just don't play PvP games anymore.
Yeah.
Now some couch co-op though, man. I was kind of jonesing for. I had some good memories of playing GoldenEye. Because I'm in my 20s.
Oh, GoldenEye N64 era sort of first-person shooter.
Well, yeah, but like it's the couch, right? Like, and you pretend not to screen peek, but you almost can't help it because everyone's on the same screen. But it's I don't know.
Man.
I had a lot of good memories. I had a lot of fun playing that with friends.
We came up with some creative solutions to that screen peek, and I tell you what.
Oh yeah, like people are like taping like cardboard like things, and yeah, just all sorts of. But, lots of fun, and in a sense, that's why I think that's what has led to my appreciation of tabletop games like this, or even just like coffee with our comfy gaming on Thursdays, just playing something with friends. Solo play is fun, but even if there's a little bit of a
collabs are where
to things,
man.
There's a lot of good stuff in collabs. Like Evil, whenever you join in for some ghost hunting, Chameleon, you too. Like it's just nice because it would be cool if we were all on the same couch, playing, and it's actually like, hey, we're eating pizza and like bumping elbows and something. But at least doing that, it's pardon. I find a lot of satisfaction in that, and I don't know, especially when there's just so much of everything. This could be in part. I will still get to you, Coffee, but a lead into the dystopia of Night City and our setting of Cyberpunk. When there's so much that is commodified, or products that sort of turn you into the product itself. It's nice to experience human moments. And if you're ever having times where you're in doubt, or you're just like, man, it like one thing or the other just isn't working, or I'm having trouble relying on remote entities, whether it be they public or private. Having people at your table, having friends to play with, and being able to communicate and having these shared memories, like with all of us as the Cyberpunk crew here, with the things that we do, these are ours, and these are the water cooler moments that we don't have as much of in broader pop culture. Before there was kind of a sense of that, in the before times, when almost everyone watched Seinfeld, and if you didn't, you would still gather around the water cooler at work and you talk about that episode. And there was kind of a interesting, like, they're literal watering holes where people would just socialize and talk about this. But not a lot of people go to the movies, and not a lot of people watch the same thing because everything is available all the time. I believe that there's a funny person with round glasses playing the piano who sings a song about that. I believe he wants to interest you in everything all of the time, and because of just that fire hose of content and everything, there's not a lot of these bonding moments. And so for a Friday night like this, that's why I'm very fortunate to be able to play with you all. And Evil, you got your friends here. You're getting your hearty crew together, not only to face down the seas, but the actual asses out there who are going into a toxic environment. You get that feeling of it's like it's us versus the world. You get that camaraderie, and I don't know, it warms my heart. So I'm really glad that you're sticking to it, and you have these games that you play, and You're not letting that sort of bullshit slow you down, my friend. That's it's encouraging. So like hearing that sort of stuff, that keeps the Grinch's heart 3 sizes on more than just Christmas Day. Anything else you want to bring up? Game wise, or if there's anything on your mind, or an interesting game or podcast or anything that you want to give a shout out to, Evil?
Nothing comes to mind for that. Though, I think it was kind of funny because I was talking with my dad about last session, and that was kind of fun. Talking about the humanity rules and stuff, and it's like, yeah, if depending on which rules we decide to use, feel like that should be like points to my humanity instead of against it, given everything that happened.
Yep, and we all sorry, this is, this. I'm looking at the, by the way, audience, anytime I look away this way, there's a second camera that goes right to my players. And so, as if they're here, because I want to treat them like they are here, like we are at a table together in a heads-up environment. We did talk about that, and we'll implement it. So for right now, don't worry about humanity, loss or gain. I understand what you're talking about, and what I want to do is let's finish the job. We'll finish the electronic fair, and then after everything is, we'll tally it and we'll implement what needs to be brought up. But that is a good point. For arguing losses or gains, or even a mix. On one hand, yes, there is this. On the other, but there's also this, and yeah. So we'll definitely get to it. Although I'm curious now, Evil, because you brought it up here. When you're talking about this game to your dad, was it interesting to him? Like, was he kind of doing that, like leaning forward and, when you described like, man, I was carrying that bomb out and I just, woo, like I saved the conference or something. Like, was he into it? Like, was he smiling, kind of leaning forward? Like, does he, did that spark his interest about what's going on, or how did that go?
I don't really know. I know.
Oh, go ahead.
When I talk to him about most things, it's not I guess not really too interesting to him.
Oh, maybe a generational gap or something.
But I don't know. But we're also in the car and he was driving, so there's that too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right, that's fair. That we can't exactly grab our pitchforks and torches like, oh, what an asshole, he doesn't listen to his son. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, well, he was driving, so that's that works too. Well, at least for the here and now, you absolutely know that Gopher is more like the goater, because he has done some. He has been the goat in a lot of situations here, and we'll see what this Saturday holds for him here. As we'll be beginning a new day.
And I'm also sitting here thinking about just thinking about what it's like in the boardrooms at these companies. Because I'm sure, the EBM execs are sitting there watching all this go down, and then they're breathing a sigh of relief that somehow this didn't go fucking horribly wrong, and then
the
Atari execs, yeah.
Who knows? There might have been a plan for this the entire time.
Maybe.
And mysteriously, 3 EBM employees never come into work again.
This electronics fair is Mr. Beaning its way through catastrophe.
Yeah,
But that's depending on what happens today, it's like the Atari guys are sitting there in their boardroom watching this are we really the only company that fucking shit went horribly wrong for? at this fair.
Yep, and it's a little fun too because hey, I understand that Arasaka is the corporation that everyone loves to hate, but can we spread the hate around? Like, can we also like hate on Segatari and EBM and these other corporations that they're there? They may not be as bad as Arasaka, but things happen. There's still espionage. There's still people who will even just exploit them, even if they are good. So, and then you all get caught up in that because whatever problem that lady had, or whatever, she may have had no problems with EBM. Maybe she was just paid for it. It still happened, and you all were there, and then you're caught up in other people's shit. So, that's part of the fun and paranoia of this game. Yay!
All I'm saying, there is an equal opportunity hater bumper sticker on my car.
And then we'll wrap up our table talk here with D-Res being piloted by Coffee Cat Presents.
Yep.
Coffee, hi. Good to see you again.
Hello.
24 hours.
Yes, and I have fixed I fixed an internet issue for the audience who wasn't here and who was here last week and saw me just repeatedly off and on. But yes, issue resolved.
Nice.
Things going on for me. Obviously, I collab with Matt on Stardew Valley on Thursdays now. We're getting pretty far in the first year, so there's that. But the things going on my channel specifically is a lot more tabletop. We have recently started Brisbane by Night Hellfire, which had its premiere episode. It was going to be live on Twitch on this last Saturday, but hence internet issues. So that is instead posted as a YouTube exclusive right now. So go and catch that on youtube.com, Coffee Cat Presents. But we'll be doing episode 2 this coming Saturday, which is tomorrow. So there's that. And then I'm working also on my own VTM game, which I will be storytelling on Wednesdays. San Antonio by Night Blood Gambit. And that is the setting that initially started off my channel as a tabletop RPG in the Twitch space, and so from that first campaign to now, there's a 7-year gap, and it's time to go back and visit San Antonio again. We have spies going into the Anarch City, and they're going to figure out if they can actually take the city for the Camarilla or not.
7 years later in San Antonio, and I'm just imagining players walking back in. It's that community meme where everything's on fire and it's all chaos. I leave for 7 years, and this is what happened.
And then also in vampire politics and in Unlives, 7 years isn't really even that long.
Nope.
Kind of makes you wonder what the machinations then of the even older people are. If everyone is squabbling over 7 years, all the youngins who are like only 100 years old and undeath.
Just 7 years.
The elder prince that they serve wants to take the city, and there's many reasons for doing so.
Yep. For him, it's a 7 years is a Tuesday.
Exactly.
All right. Anything else then,
I always
Coffee?
forget.
Or are we gonna descend into madness and blasphemy and Cyberpunk?
Go catch Brisbane by Night Hellfire on YouTube. Do that.
There you go. The link is down.
Raven posts my YouTube channel.
All right. It is time then
Still
for
trying.
session 12.
Still trying to get 200 to 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Well, then
So.
please go and give Coffee Cat a follow on the YouTubes.
I am.
We are
Yeah.
on session 12, Execute. And while the vast majority of the content will take place on Saturday, January 12th, 2064, I do want to take a moment because breathers should be breathed. After you all end up going home, if you wanted, and maybe you don't, just saying I want to go to bed and not worry about getting blown up or doing anything extra that causes my brain to keep me from sleeping, because you do have to be at work at 9 a.m. Sharp. We'll start with you, Outback. Are there any moments, whether you want to interact with NPCs here, because you do, you're residing with the Aldecaldo, so you can sort of like rent a tent with them, or you're on the outskirts of their main encampment. Is there anyone here you want to talk to, or do you want to have some inner monologue as you're driving, or as you're kicking off your boots after another day in the city? You lost your job. There's this explosion, everything going on. You have a spotlight that you are welcome to use or pass.
Well, I think he's just glad that he doesn't have to get up at 9 tomorrow. Or
That's
be
true.
there by 9. Because every day so far has just gotten worse and worse.
Are you still going to drop the kids off at school, so to speak? Or are you going to take the others to work?
Yeah, he's gonna he's obviously gonna go in there. I was hoping in the panic of the evacuation he could have scooped up like a day pass that someone had, so he could just sneak on in without having to pay. Although it's the last full day, so I imagine day of rate for entry probably won't be terrible.
Yeah.
Most expensive day was probably Friday.
With the big EBM announcement, and of course, as you're cruising home, if you listen to the radio, or even if you don't, I'm sure you pass by some news billboard. Explosion at the convention center, but also a lot of people are really excited about the proposed plans for the stadium.
Yeah.
In fact, I bet there are more than a handful of Aldecaldos that, even if they don't tend to go into the city, there's plenty of radio or TV signals that make their way out into the desert, where sports would be something that would be talked about. So word of that, probably even above the explosion, because maybe if only because of the pessimism of the nomads, a lot of them would be way more interested in, oh, did you hear the Nighthawks are going to get a new home in like 5 years, or stuff like that.
Yeah. I think, given he did just lose his job, technically means he's not going to get paid. So anything else he does will be a waste of time. He is going to be perfectly financially responsible and spend money now.
Yep. Yep. That's how it goes.
I imagine there's probably probably multiple of the nomads here who just like sell things.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he's gonna go see. He's gonna go see if they got any alcohol.
There's
Yeah, not even. I imagine financial responsibility because he's not looking for like cheap swill. He's going for good stuff.
I don't have a particular menu with any sort of real world prices, but if you find one, or if you're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy like 3 bottles of the top shelf stuff, I trust you to deduct that from your bank account and add it to your inventory, or as they say, you only rent liquor, so you never.
Let me see here. Those are mixed drinks. That's not going to help me. I doubt there's going to be a nomad with just several glasses of Johnny Silverhands.
Well, you know, there's fencers and smugglers, and there are just business people, kind of like you too. So
Yeah.
I would imagine that anything that you could get in the city, you could get, especially because you're not a part of the clan, but you're close enough to it that they would open up their private stock to you. You're a known quantity. You're a trusted person, even as a visitor or sort of like a whatever Aldecaldos in training or whatever. I don't know if they have some sort of particular word for sort of like a peripheral person to the family, but yeah, anything they have, they could open up to you. You haven't done them wrong, at least not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say he gets like some good Keela, and I'm gonna quickly go and snipe 100 eddies out of my cash.
Okay. In fact, while you're there, you're going to whatever kind of a bar on wheels that they might have, or a liquor store on wheels. You'd hear people talking about the events and about the announcement. Like, oh, hey, do you think that you think that they're going to be hiring people for the construction? Well, yeah, they probably will, but is that a job that you really want? You want to go into the city? You want to work for them? You know what's happened in the past before. Yeah, but think of the money. The 5 years of construction, that's a lot of eddies. This is all new stuff. So people are going to have the natural back and forth that you'd expect, especially among the nomads, who really, many of them for many, many years have been the builders. They have been the ones hired and brought into the city to provide the labor, to transport the concrete and the rebar, and even the exotic materials, for the C-suite floors, like the polished granite and stuff. So it has the camp talking.
Yeah. Well, if they take that work, the head is probably going to be the one who decides if they take work for them.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we'll definitely have a meeting about it. And so these are just people chatting after like one news cycle night. So
yeah, I think he's just going to go his tent, pop tequila, pour out a shot, pour it into the fire for the poor guy who was destroyed by a bomb.
Yeah. Yep.
And then yeah, that's going to be his night.
All right. Well, then you have a good night. You certainly, not that you were sick, but a little bit of Grandpa's old cough medicine helps you get to sleep. And and 9 o'clock. Well, even earlier because you got to go fetch everyone. But the morning will come early enough. So, all right. Well, there's that little bit of information. You drank well tonight. You got to hear some camp rumors. Going in, spending some money, and drinking here or there. Let's pop over to, well, you know what? The next tab over is Gopher's pad. So Gopher, you go home that night. Is there any kind of inner monologue that you have, or is there anything in particular in these nighttime hours that you want to do, either in the building or, if you tell Outback, hey, just drop me off like 3 blocks away. I want to go get some groceries at the convenience store or something. What is your night like?
I think he's gonna go straight home,
Okay.
and when he gets inside, kind of just collapse on the bed and kind of just process everything that just happened.
Are you like staring at your hands like, oh, I did this or something, or?
Probably more at the ceiling, but yeah, probably some of that too. Like, yeah, I really just did that.
Do you have a big
and
grin?
somehow I'm
Does he have a big
alive.
grin on his face, like I did that, and he's like proud of himself and smiling, or what's the process? What's his thoughts here?
Uh, probably more shock than anything.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just, yeah.
Well, your accomplishments will also help you, and probably you probably get an extra good night's rest because of that adrenaline rush, and that's probably leaving your body kind of drained. You got that natural shot of it. People quite literally pay just to have one of those installed, and you got it for free. You got the natural high, but now you get that nice like coasting into unconsciousness. Your brain is ticking on everything that happened, and the we have the out of character placeholder for the morality of it, humanity gain or humanity loss. We can say that that's a part of weighing things, like, oh man, that really sucks that a guy died, but I also saved a room full of people also, and you didn't know, you weren't trying to blow up that dude, he just happened to be there, and you know the decision was made. But at least for this night, Gopher, any of the ambiance around your hab stack is drowned out by peaceful sleep or your contemplations. So the random shootings. Unfortunately for all of you, like even you, Drez, in your mega building, hearing gunshots at night is not an uncommon thing. Or hearing the police sirens, or hearing scuffles and chases and just people arguing. It's a crush of humanity. But you know what? For this night, Gopher, you stepped up and you did something, and uh, you will. We can get to it in the morning because you won't have to necessarily reply back to it. But you will have a job solicitation from EBM waiting for you in the morning if you want to take up something full time with them. Because you stepped up and you did something pretty big there. Um. Okay. Is there anything else then for your evening?
Eh, not really.
All right. Well, sir, you enjoy your night's rest, and we're gonna head over then over to JP's pad. JP, of course, has beautiful waterfront property. Uh, uh,
Mhm.
he pretty much lives in a van by the river, and JP, as you arrive at your house, remember that you ended up finding something while you were sweeping up the scene of the crime. Um, what
I am
what are your
not
thoughts or
sure
actions?
that
Oh,
JP is currently here.
oh, oh! Did he?
Yeah. Uh, Discord says he had to go for 15, 20 minutes to
Oh,
pick his girlfriend up from work.
oh, got it. Okay, then actually, what I totally meant was uh
Was
was
Drez.
Drez, and not even Kiri. Although we can pretend that Kiri is here. Like I can make a little like a little like sock puppet. Like no, huh? Yeah, well. All right. So,
Uh,
Drez, you're welcome to fill in ideas or have a shadow boxing conversation with Kiri if you want to pretend that she's here. But do you have any thoughts, processes? Are you just like taking a shower and flopping? What's on your mind tonight, if anything?
well, out of character, I was gonna have a call with JP about negotiating us some some hazard pay, but that's gonna have to wait.
Okay.
Um, aside from that, just just kind of talking things over with Kiri, just kind of back and forth processing, because doing so verbally for Drez is kind of how she actually like how she actually processes things. So ever since Kiri came to live with her, that's just been something they do, is that they unwind about the day
Okay.
uh, after all said and done. And they've been in merc work for several years together now,
Hmm.
and Drez probably finds it more helpful than Kiri does, because Kiri's more of a stoic kind of person, but Drez is just word vomiting for as long as Kiri will let her. So
Oh, are you going down like conspiracy paths? Are you on your computer going, oh my, there's this and it could be this, and you're trying to like link stuff, and as you're spiraling and winding tighter, like Kiri just kind of comes up as like, relax and helps you unwind.
Yeah, that's pretty typical of their day to day, is that sometimes Drez is too smart for her own good, and she definitely has the tendency to go down what some would consider like conspiracy thoughts. However, the number of times that she's been right is a little uncanny. So she clearly has the mind to be able to read between the lines. And
do you have any thoughts then about what's happening or what happened in a broader or specific sense?
She's not sure as to the reason as to why yet, but she can definitely understand the person involved who had the bomb with her. She didn't necessarily look like a corpo. She didn't look like just an ordinary congoer, right?
Yeah, well, it was some sort of a spy at least. Definitely not. She was dressed as a media. She had a reasonable facsimile to Jen.
Okay. So Drez's thoughts is that this was intentional to obviously bring Jen some heat in the media space and give her reputation a bit of a hit. So that's either on purpose or coincidental. It could just be that that's the person whose credentials they found and that's how they got their in. Jen's reputation would take a hit if something like this were to happen as a result of her. But there's plenty of reasons as to why why a bomb would be attempted to set off in the area where this new stadium was being presented as an idea, because it could be any political opponents from the mayor's office, could be any corp just trying to take a shot at EVM or at Petrochem or at any number of any specific entities in that room.
Mm.
So I think what she spends her time doing is she's finding out more about who was supposed to be the target, whether that was a corp, whether that was Jen, whether that was the a shot in the dark at political opponents, could be whatever that might be, and just kind of voicing her theories to Kiri until such a time that they go to bed.
Okay. Does this mean that you're liking, following, and subscribing Hard on Tech? You want to read more about what Jen does and thinks? Why she might have been targeted?
Probably not following, but definitely researching.
Okay.
Mostly because Drez thinks that the name of her blog is completely one note and not funny, but also like that could just be Drez being a fuddy-duddy.
All right. Well, then, you begin. For one night of research, I don't have a lot to reveal about Hard on Tech, but at least on the initial, as you also have like 10 other windows open, and you have this mental conspiracy board, and you're talking out loud to yourself, or you think you're talking to yourself and you actually aren't, and that's when Kiri's like, yeah, all right, hey, you gotta come to bed, come on. So I won't necessarily say that there's anything that would jump out to you that would change your opinion about Jen or Hard on Tech, by at least opening her blog and kind of like getting that initial like first impression of the homepage and everything. But if you do decide to pour more into this media personality's work, then there might be other things there that you can delve into. But that will just depend on your time and your patience for such a project. But for sure, she has a blog there. It seems pretty standard
Does she
issue.
have any?
It's above average
Does
competency.
Does she have any known rivals in the media space where someone may be vying for the same kinds of stories, or somebody that would be actively trying to disrupt her reputation?
On first blush, there is no one who seems to be a major rival to her.
Okay.
Not in the way that there are known beefs between other personalities. Whether they're influencers like Brotherman and Fair Dinkum, or even like News Corps or something, or the famous Arasaka Militech rivalry. We don't necessarily have anyone that is on first blush like, oh, that Jen Raider is 2 out of 10 or whatever.
Yeah. So it's looking more likely that she was just the target of some opportunistic person, because the mask that the perpetrator had was more of a display faceplate sort of thing, right? Like where it's like a mask, more like.
Yeah, think
mask.
think like if you took material kind of like pantyhose and you put it over your head, but it could like display a face over it with like a like you could wear like a wig or something, and you can have, or like your hair could stick out, but it would or almost like a Scooby-Doo cartoon mask where to us as the viewer it looks like a monster, and apparently it fools everyone in the Scooby-Doo universe. But at the end, after the monster's tied up, they pull it off, and there's a person underneath, and there was no evidence whatsoever that this was old man McGillicuddy the whole time, so it a mask of sorts was pulled off, and so it was someone who had a mutable face piece of tech. I don't know if that detail was necessarily shared with you, but out of character, we know that this person didn't get every detail right, because Jen doesn't wear green panties and this person does, and on top of that, her helmet, which is probably be more noticeable to you anyway, her helmet was close but not the same, and especially to Gopher, nothing was really hooked up. It was kind of a thrown together thing. Now, Jen's media rig is really a thing of her own doing. It's not like some whatever,
standard issue.
Like big corpo news cam 500 standard model. This is her with like a backpack. She's like a modern day like mom blogger on Facebook. She just sort of has her own opinions, and she brings her own stuff. And so her rig, like, it was kind of like sets her apart to be whatever, is really just sort of like a glorified like headband with some gear, but at least that does something. What this lady had, and again, however much was communicated in or out of character, or especially when you're off shift, you're sitting in a car, you could talk about this. Her gear wasn't hooked up. It was just sort of like, oh, well, here's all I got to do is like glue stuff onto a headband, make it appear kind of janky, and then hide my C4 or whatever. in the mix, but nothing actually was hooked up to work. So
Basically, like a cosplay prop kind of thing.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go, exactly.
Yeah.
It was more like a cosplay prop. Who's really gonna look? Who's really gonna care about Jen Rader from Hard on Tech News? Like she doesn't. She exists, but she doesn't have the biggest tech blog. And, she has a very unusual rig for her media gear, but it's not unusual in a way that people care or catches eyes, because it's a lot of just standard tech used in a non-standard way. But there's nothing edgy or flashy about it. In fact, arguably, it's gaudy or unprofessional. So, who cares?
Yeah, which is kind of what's leading D-Res to kind of lean into Jen was just the unfortunate bystander that got their credentials swiped.
Well, fortunately, Kiri does pull you back from your conspiracy spiraling. Tells you it's fine. Just group up your 100 tabs you have open. You can reopen them tomorrow. Save your RAM. And you will be able to go to sleep. Whether or not that's peaceful or fitful, I'll leave that for you, because D-Rez's brain is very active. Is
Always.
an alphabet soup, just sort of like always kind of stirring around, and letters sometimes come together as words and sometimes don't. But morning will come, the sun will rise, and so too will you two. You can have whatever, if you want to even eat anything here, you will be given a breakfast, of course. You can get the notification. Outback, did you drink yourself into a stupor, or did you just enjoy a fine liqueur?
Probably just drink to enjoy kind of night.
Okay. All right. We won't worry about. I don't need a rouse roll from you. I know this isn't VTM, but you don't need any extra help or to spend blood rousing from your slumber. So yeah, you can wake up. I mean, whether or not you have a headache or you just you drink some water before you do, then you can swing by and get people as per normal. Nothing will impede you all in your mornings, and of course we can have in the car whatever conversations you'd like to have, or you can have a if we want to say out of character, yeah, hey, we all talk about what all of us were listening in on. That's perfectly fine as well. Moments like this, and I'm speaking to the audience in this regard, because you all as the players probably get the sort of like idea to this, or the pacing of this in a game. But to take a moment, because this is an instructional channel as well on this, making sure that you do give time, like this kind of downtime. It's only one night, but allowing the players or really the characters, to be able to communicate in ways, or to to decompress, or have these thought experiments on their own, is an important part of the back and forth. You do want to apply tension, and we definitely had that in spades last night. But now it is a new day, and there could very well be suspicion coming into this. But for your all's mornings, you're picked up as you are. Is there anything before you get into work and you put on the uniform, and I'm sure you all as players know what I'm going to be asking for next once the shift starts. But on the arrival or on the way to the convention center, you're making your way from each of your living spaces. You're traveling into Pacifica. Man, this place is bright and shiny. This seems to be like the future hub of Night City. Now that you are as a group. Oh, and we might have
JP.
Yep, we might have JP here in a moment to give comment. But besides the sharing of things, of like, oh yeah, here's a detail, or one thing or the other. Any thoughts? Any hesitations, do you have any words that you want to say to Outback, who is, at least as an employee, persona non grata?
Are you expecting, chew money for driving us back and forth?
No, I got more than enough of that.
Well, I mean, you're out the contract money, which sucks, because you put in 2 days' work.
Well, I've survived this long. More work will come up, I'm sure.
I can't say that I blame you for walking out, because I was on the verge of doing that myself. Given how much heat that this particular convention has been getting, as far as like whack jobs that are just trying to destroy everything, I'm surprised most of the staff haven't just walked out, said fuck it, we don't need money that bad to be risking our lives like this.
I can't believe I'm still alive.
Yeah. If anyone, I would have understood if you had been the one to just be like, nah, fuck it, dude, I'm out.
People who actually work for the convention center can't just walk out. All the other people who are temps like y'all, well, they're edge runners. They've dealt with worse.
But this is an electronics fair. It's not a merc job, for all intents and purposes.
But I'm fairly certain there have been probably several people making off with some things in all the chaos, and they quite appreciate it.
It's crossed my mind. I'm a merc. I mean, granted, very, very infrequently do I actually leave my chair that I'm assigned, because I've got to be net running the entire time. It feels like eons, really, when you're in that space and you're just watching people.
I can only imagine.
It's rough. I'm just saying that if you wanted a couple hundred eddies for the chew, I'd be willing to front it.
Well, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money any more than you're going to be able to tell me what to do with my employment. And if you insist upon giving me money, then I will not argue, because your friend Kiri is quite terrifying.
And just like everybody else in this damn car, we could all use the eddies.
Well, I won't argue.
I fully intend on us getting hazard pay. I might not be the one to convince anybody to do it, because I'm not exactly the most eloquent. But I'm definitely going to insist that we at least ask. We are mercs, after all. Our pay wage goes up when our life's on the line.
Fair enough.
I get the feeling if anyone can talk Bulldog into it, it'll probably be JP. But I think I'm probably gonna talk to my boss on the EBM side and see if can get some extra money there.
Something that you should ask them is, in the whole presentation of everything, who might have wanted this whole thing to go completely tits up?
Probably worth an ask for sure.
It would be worth an ask and worth asking for a little extra cash if they want you to go digging.
Speaking of employment, I guess EBM definitely did notice what I ended up doing back there, so they sent out an offer.
What kind of offer? Working like a slave 70 hours a week and getting tits all for it?
Matt?
Yeah, you are offered full-time employment with EBM. Now you're not being hired in as a C-suite exec, but you are being given a good full-time job at a major corp. So,
Nothing fancy, but stable employment.
Stable employment, which would put you in better living conditions. You know, I guess in-game mechanically, depending on if you take it or not, it might get you out of the Hab stack, and you could actually live in more of like the corpo class living arrangements.
Called the corporal conapt.
Yeah, a conapt. That's right.
And all you have to do is sell your soul out for a 120-hour work week.
So yeah, like I'm not promising you, that this is 40 hours and then you get like time and a half for, with a cap at 60. Again, like this is one of the things where, you go in and say, oh, I want to work here. Great. You know what? I love your experience. In fact, we're only going to have you work half days. Oh, 4 hours a day? No, like 12 half days. So, is it going to be grueling? Are you mining coal with a pickaxe? No. But is it a full-time corpo job? Yes. Will it give you a better living arrangement? Yes. Will it make it, out of character? Obviously, I want you to continue to adventure as a part of the crew. But it would be extra work on top of the tech work. You'd be hired in for the things that you've done. You're great with wiring things, and you did the diagnostics and all this. You'd be doing that. So
you just changed from techie to exec.
Is this a devil's deal? I mean, maybe like a soft devil's deal. It would improve some things in your life, but you're also, you're working for EBM. That could give you access to information and databases, though, and you keep, the crew isn't official yet, so it's not exactly like you're a known, you're known to be in cahoots with any, net runners or edge runners of that are noteworthy. Not yet. That's kind of the goal is to make yourselves names. It is an option with the out of character knowledge of, you'll continue to be Gopher, and you're going to go on missions that are going to be silly and dangerous, and we'll risk your life, and we'll hold our sides because they're about to launch off because it's so funny. So that's your call for your character, and a great roleplay prompt. Because for any of you in the audience, if you didn't see Coffee Cat's face as D-Rez when Gopher said, "I got an email of employment at EBM," just that, like, the look, that was golden. So yeah, it's
better than Militech.
It's a choice. But you're not on a time limit, Gopher. It's not like, well, you have to reply, within 24 hours. It's, you still have your job. Something may happen where you say, nah, I'm good, fam. But it's there, and it is an option. And you remember too, Drez, you have a full. You even before Gopher had a full-time employment offer made to you by the convention center, which in a sense it's, I guess, broadly, technically Night Corp, even though the convention center is also, I guess, more narrowly, less technically its own thing. It's just sort of like managed by Night Corp, or sort of a part of that. It wouldn't make you a Night Corp employee directly. You'd be the convention center employee, and you'd be net running from the convention center, primarily for it. It would be a kind of a corpo job, though. So for being competent in your jobs, your possible reward is, you get a full-time job, which does come with a pay increase. You don't necessarily have to pick up the canned papers, the Q&Ds, the quick and dirties. You would have stable employment every week that would just occupy a block of time, but you would be receiving greater income. You'd have job stability, so that it's not that you couldn't use JP as a fixer to get odd jobs on top of that, but it would just be, a shift. It would be, well, you all get to be Bruce Wayne during the day, and then you get to do Batman stuff at night. So
ever since taking this corporate job, my budget for energy drinks has quadrupled.
But you have a similar full-time offer, Drez.
She hasn't had a chance to discuss it with Kiri yet about whether she wants to take it.
Yeah, and out of character. Although I think Dietz might have mentioned it. You don't have to provide a yes or no by the end of the weekend. It's an open offer because you've proven your competency, which apparently is in short supply, or people who are willing to commit to the full-time job as opposed to just sort of floating job to job, or having a lot of flexible part-time hours instead of just dedicating a chunk of their life to, I work, and then you do with whatever's left over. It's an option. But anyway, this is a good card conversation to have, which does also, talking to the audience, you see why it's good to offer this. Not only does it do world building for you, it allows your characters to have these awesome interactions and to discuss this stuff. And then also, as the GM DMST, I don't expect them to or not to take these jobs, but it's a choice that they get to make as players for their characters. And let's say Gopher takes his full-time job, but Drez doesn't. That the story will continue on. The people that they haven't met are still out there doing the things that they're doing, for good or for evil. That's still going to happen, but how you get there can change because of the employment conditions. Or that could open up resources or cool new stuff. That could open up tech, like actual physical tech. If you have a member of the crew who works at EBM, and you get to have, we're talking about Bruce Wayne. What Lucius is the tech guy for him, right?
Lucius Fox.
Yeah. Lucius Fox. So in that case, Gopher could almost be like a Lucius Fox style character of like, hey, so EBM is working on this really neat, I don't know, something or other that it's a experimental deck. Maybe you want to try it out, Drez, or something, so that could open up an option like that in the game. But also, if the player, or even if the player wants to, but the character is like, no, I'm so anti-corp, then that's fine too, because the game will carry on, but it'll just carry on differently. But yeah, so you as players have time to think about it, and even your characters do too. But that's on the table for you. Anything else brought up? In Outback, obviously, you're here for this too. You're driving. So.
Yeah.
Well, EBM might be one of those that, is kind of on the forefront of technology. Aside from, the big ones. I don't know. It's an interesting thought that they're the ones wanting to get into making a stadium for sports. I don't know. Any of y'all been to a Nighthawks game?
Know what the Nighthawks were?
Oh god, really? They're only the most awesome sports team on this side of California.
Well, I'm from a few sides over from California.
But you've been here for years now, right?
Not exactly into sports.
Well, neither am I, but everybody's heard of the Nighthawks. Gopher?
I'm not too much into physical sports myself.
Oh my god. I went to a game when I was a kid. I forget sometimes that you guys are road warriors, so the ability to go to a game aside from make your own. Tell me at least you've played like basketball, hockey, or football. It's soccer even.
Back when we were a kid, we didn't really have too many sports equipment, but sometimes the older nomads in our clan would drive the cars at a slow pace, around 20 miles an hour, and we would jump back and forth from the roofs.
That's far more dangerous.
Well, sometimes you gotta do that. If one of your family's cars is in need of repair, you can't just stop while a bunch of bandits are chasing you.
You're talking about jumping between cars, making repairs, while driving under duress?
Life
You've
of a
never done?
nomad.
There's a lot less structure when you leave the city.
Apparently so. A lot more desert, too.
Well, in the Southwest, yes.
Could you still do that now? Jumping between cars?
If there was any reason for me to jump from my car, yes.
You made it sound like you did so a little bit for fun.
Well, I could,
Like that
but
was a sport.
no, it was. You would see how high you could jump while going across the gap.
And if you and if you accidentally, fell,
Well, that was an important lesson, wasn't it?
how many poor
What?
saps died because of that?
No, none. We didn't go too fast. Said only like 15, 20 miles an hour.
That's awfully slow for a chase.
Well, if it was an actual chase and you fell, you were probably going to die no matter what because you were being chased. During the game, nah, not really. A few sprained
Bizarre.
ankles, broken arm here or there. That's how I broke my arm.
And you got it fixed by a Ripper, right?
I got it fixed by my family.
One of them a Ripper dog?
Something like that.
So wait, you said you're implanted. How did you get your implants then?
Well, you city folk, your Ripper docs are a lot different than what we have out on the road. You could call her a Ripper, but she would just call herself a doctor. Let me actually make sure I'm getting that correct on her. Fairly certain the clan's doctor was female. It's been a while. Yeah, Clara Harmon.
Okay.
Well, what do you know?
His arm looked a lot different before I got to the city. Once I got here, I got this plastic coating put on it. Take this off, you would probably scare Gopher right out of the car.
Why is that?
This ain't your fancy high-tech city stuff.
Wait, so you're...
Is that his sidearm's just a piece of rebar with 2 screws in it?
So your arm's chipped in too?
You didn't notice.
You wear long sleeves.
Rolls the sleeves up. Very clear plastic-coated sidearm.
That could have been an aesthetic choice.
Well, it's not.
Some people get plated their organic limbs. I don't know. I'm not a Ripper. I don't know these things. All I know is that I'm perfectly okay being organic aside from my cyber deck. I don't need anything else.
I've heard a lot of people say that. And then they
What else
fall
could I
for the... And they fall for
possibly
the... Well, you're working at a place that tries to convince people otherwise. So electronic fair is about telling people that they need to buy the new and the big and the bad.
Yeah. And the
Just
masses
saying.
that get roped into that kind of thing are the ones that end up going psycho. I've heard the stories. I've read the news articles about psychos all the time. It's enough to steer you clear and keep you on the straight and narrow, as it were.
One of the
That's
reasons
somehow-
I prefer to tinker with my cyberware.
The more you tinker with it, though, the more it could...
Real truth is, the more dangerous work you get into, the harder it is to be entirely organic. More dangerous work you want to do, the further you have to push that. You just gotta know when to stop. Fortunately, that becomes a little bit more difficult the more cyberware you have.
Well, anytime I run, I risk my brain getting cooked. Even if I'm working a corpo job. Nothing about that changes.
No, I don't suppose it would.
And no amount of cyberware is going to keep me safer in cyberspace.
Well, you got me there. There's a great deal of cyberware that is sold on the tin that would make me better at driving, but I don't believe it.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. You should always, in any situation where you're considering more cyberware, think about it triply hard. Think and think and think.
No, I don't gotta think about it. I don't need to replace all my nerves and plug into the car to understand it.
It does have the modern conveniences of your identification being in your brain, not on a card that you could lose. Plenty of people also forge their identification too, so.
You can
Even
forge
with
a
an
car,
outlink, you can forge it.
so why do it? If it's gonna be able to be forged anyways.
Well, eventually cards are going to go obsolete. What you going to do then?
Find another place where it's not.
You can literally just ride out in the Badlands.
Well, I don't know. I don't link up with cars. Some people swear by it, though.
JP, if you are with us, did you have any commentary, like internal monologue for last night, or anything you want to bring up in the car on the way to work?
Well, I believe JP normally takes public transport.
Oh shoot,
That's
he
right.
does.
I take the NC cart.
Yeah.
Takes the end cart.
Well then, if not in the car, I mean, obviously you could message. You're not on the clock right now. But anything back at your pad or like just before we get into the roles for the shift and whatever events will play out today, did you have anything in particular that you wanted to bring up?
Well, I kind of wish I was a fly on the wall in that conversation, so JP could text our intrepid netrunner the exact cybernetics that would be awesome for her as a netrunner, and offer to procure those for her.
I mean, hey, you have a phone and
But-
your phone is listening to you, so you're going to start seeing ads for cyberware related to net running.
Yeah.
Your scream sheet ads are going to become very personalized.
Yep. See, what's what they do.
I
But,
don't know what I want. Advertisers, we do.
Yep. But JP, you would probably get a text during the evening from Drez about what do you intend to do about hazard pay?
Oh, his response is, well, the lady, normally I conduct such conversations before contracts are agreed upon, but I do not mind attempting to advocate.
Because we've put our life on the line a couple of times for this damn electronics fair at this point, and my rate goes up when my life's on the line, so...
Then, I must say, I've just swept floors.
And I've dropped people unconscious with their shooting at me, so...
In the convention center?
Yes.
When did that happen?
Thursday night.
she'll send a triple question mark at first, and then about a second later, that was Thursday. Did you not? Were you asleep in the corner or something?
No, I think I was just tending to things on the floor. I didn't hear anything about a shooting.
The damn noisemaker devices? Really? You must be deaf.
I found one of those things. I didn't know people were being shot over them. I just found one and handed it off.
Oh boy.
Well, congratulations, mon ami.
And the bomb that went off yesterday? No, nothing?
Like I said, I have no problem playing advocate.
Please do, because the bulldog hates me.
I do not think that man has enough time in him to hate, for I believe that he crushes what he hates mercilessly.
He looks like he could crush me in a moment's notice.
Ah, oui. So then, he does not hate you. We both agree you would already be dead.
I suppose. Appreciate it, though.
Any other concerns that I can address for you?
Not yet. Keep you posted.
Wonderful. And then he says, have a pleasant day in French.
She knows no French. It just looks like gibberish on her text.
Other than that, JP, the only thing that I am doing kind of with JP's downtime is that he is, constantly keeping his ear to the ground, keeping track of where potential night markets are cropping up each evening. And then specifically, I was trying to keep an ear out for any of my contacts if they run across any gear from the 40s or the 50s, stuff that runs without needing a Nero port.
Okay. Well, for sure, there's not a night market for it set up yet, as it won't happen until at least Sunday night, if not the minimum being Monday. But there are people talking about, a night market, an after fair night market. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right, it's like the after party at a Hollywood premiere.
Yeah, it's just that none of the corporations are invited to the party. But their items are, for sure.
None of the corporate suits.
Yeah.
Someone from the corps is going to be there because they're going to be the ones selling.
That very well may be too.
Those mid-level marketing people.
All right. So yeah, there's that a reasonable expectation. That doesn't seem to fall outside the norm. You have a bunch of people coming together, bringing in new things or prototypes or information, you can expect it to be sold after the official event is ended, because when you box stuff up to put back on the truck, sometimes things fall off the back of the truck. It's an unfortunate event, but it happens every now and again. You think that car companies would invent a better tailgate, but oh well. Okay, well then, yeah. So you do your normal stuff. You drink some tea. You contemplate. You network. All right then. It is time for Saturday, the last full public day. Technically, Sunday's a public day, but it's not as busy. It's very literally a half day. But all of the major all the major announcements have been made. The showcases. Sunday, at least for those of you not doing night market business, is also a sale day. When the things that you bought, if there's something that might be available, or last minute to get on a subscription list or a newsletter or something. Sunday is a less busy day. So if you couldn't get to a booth on Saturday, then Sunday's a day to do it. You can get some news pamphlets, or you can and you all as employees also would what? Okay, yeah, we're lined back up. You all as employees would presumably have a chance to browse some wares as well. But we'll cross that bridge on Sunday. Apparently Gopher knew what to expect, and let's. I restarted the computer, so I have to get my spreadsheet open because I've been tracking your all's rolls.
Dealt with a bomb, went home, immediately laid down. You've come back still with dust on you.
You're so distracted.
You still have sulfur on you.
Okay, so yes, as you can presume, you do need to show up. You need to wear your uniform well. You need to be presentable to the public, as this is, and if not to the public, then to your supervisors. You might be seen in public as well. So yeah, we'll have Gopher here. Now, Gopher, you working for a corp are held to a higher standard than like fogging a mirror, which is a much lower standard that the convention center employees have to pass here. So unfortunately, you did not do that here in the morning. Maybe you're distracted, or you show up for muster, and just a lot of things like you missed like your one button off on the collar, or it's kind of crooked, or just your mind is elsewhere.
Probably still processing last night.
And this doesn't like you're sent to you're sent back to wardrobe, and with a recommendation of like you need to be made up. You're given a bit of a lecture about your appearance, but because of what you did, you're not mechanically score wise on the spreadsheet. You did not pass, but no one at EBM is giving you a very hard time about it. It's understandable. Your job is not your job order is not or your job offer is not rescinded. But you go there, and you get some sympathetic talk from one of the ladies in the back, like, oh well, I heard this, and this and that, and let's take care of this. There's some disappointment that of not being like consistently excellent. But you're not chewed out. You don't lose your temp job, and they don't rescind your current one. But mechanically, this is a ding on your overall score for the weekend. But if you can live with that, then hey, you spend a little bit of extra time. A couple people go, well, that sucks that he wasn't able to get himself together. But you know what? Bad days happen, and sometimes bombs blow up. So no one's gonna razz you about it. It's more of a mechanical detriment to what you're doing. All right. So we'll go. You have your, and maybe you're out some breakfast. Maybe you actually have to just like, whatever, grab a kibble on the way, and you don't get like the whatever the pre-pack, the nicer tier, corpo breakfast. Oh no, not everything that I eat anyway outside of my job. All right, so that was Gopher. Who else? Let's get someone else. I guess I only have 2 other people. I have JP and Drez right now. Kiri will have to, but we don't have Kiri at the moment.
Just a second.
There we go. All right. Drez is a bit ahead of the curve here.
I like how both your bonus and what you rolled are 2 higher.
So you come in now. Dietz is happy to see you. And you're looking. She'll say, Drez, you're looking really presentable. Really getting the hang of this. I don't know if that means that you're thinking about the offer, but it's still on the table.
I know. I just haven't had a chance to really talk to my roommate about it. Because that would affect her too.
That's fine, and maybe you find that we're not a good fit for you. Obviously things happen. Yeah. How about yesterday, right? But
God. Jeez. I'm hoping today is uneventful. I could use one of those as a work day.
Well, I thought that way when I took this job, and there's a lot of days where it's just the normal amount of cybercrime and espionage. She says that with a bit of a chuckle, but there's a solid foundation of truth to it. Like
the usual night shitty
non-hyperbolic. But I've seen some crazy shit happen. There's all sorts of people out there in the city, Drez. And even just working for a convention center. I mean, technically we're a part of Night Corp, but you could just be an obstacle in the way for a job. And not that I want to be killed at all, but there might be a certain romanticism to being killed by an enemy, someone who knows your name and has plotted your downfall and has spent tremendous amounts of time and resources poured into ending you. It's not so...
Rather than the corp that actually employs you?
I get a steady paycheck. I get to do what I like doing. I got modded for this, and I find some extra fun on the side. I imagine you do too. Not that I'm going to poke into your business. But hey, I have access to technology.
It's just as likely
I live in a nice
night
place. I have a solid job, and for the most part, I'm left alone. But really, anywhere in this city, you're going to be put in danger. Instead of some grand plan coming together, culminating in your end, you could just be ended by a random street thug.
That, I suppose, is part of living in Night City. But, do you carry iron?
Outside of work, yes. And in work, I don't carry it, but I have access to, because of my clearance here, I have access to it. And I'm not talking about the coat check.
That's fine. Being a netrunner can be just as useful as iron these days. as far as protecting yourself. So
And I will say, Drez, I mean, the chair that you're using as your employment, you know, that's a solid foundation. That could be unlocked to do a lot more for you if you end up becoming a full-time employee. And just having access to the tech that this job provides, and this isn't even necessarily, you know, this isn't like working for Netwatch. You can only imagine what they have access to. But you know,
God,
if you get hired in full time and I'm allowed to unlock that chair, that that will orders of like magnitude enhance your capabilities online due to the tech that's in there.
just from sitting here in this convention center.
The convention center didn't skip out on cybersecurity, especially because of the things that can happen here, like what we're seeing at the fair. You're using it like a comfy, laid back office chair. It's capable of doing a lot more and working with you to enhance what you already have.
I mean, you're making a very solid argument. But obviously, I have a reputation. I don't know that Night Corp's gonna want that kind of reputation following it around.
I haven't looked into your reputation. If you think that there is something that I should, you can tell me. But I don't think there's too many squeaky clean netrunners. I understand though, Drez. Hey, you have a lot more youth in you than I do. And in my case, you know, I had a lot of dreams of glory, making a name for myself in the city. You know, would I be the next big thing? Would I get, you know, something named after me? Hopefully a good thing. And time went on, and I took some opportunities, and I was scared out of some others. And I found a stable job. I still get net running in, and I do some private stuff here and there. But I found some comfort and security, and, you know, I perhaps traded glory for that. But I bring home a steady paycheck.
I've never been one for glory. But I do make a habit of putting corruption down.
Can't say that would be in your portfolio of work here, but a steady income could get you the tools. Could even network you with people who could help you guide your youthful ideals into manifested realities a lot more. I can't pressure you into it, but I'll tell you, you have something rare that I haven't seen a lot of other temps have, and that's a good head on your shoulders. It's competency. I don't.
You don't get a whole lot of competent net runners around here?
Yeah. Maybe that. Yes and no. I have people who can do a job. But doing a job isn't the same as being competent at something. Being considerate. Treating something like a job is different than actually showing up and doing a job. Or being a part of something that isn't considered a job. That could be part of my trade-off, or just a difference in personalities that we have. I get a lot of people in here who can press the buttons, they can watch the cameras, they have the tech installed enough that they're compatible with the system, but that doesn't mean that they get it. That doesn't mean that they are the netrunner instead of a person doing netrunning things. I have a lot of people who do net running. I don't meet a lot of people who are net runners. Does that make sense, D-Rez?
Kinda.
Having a deck, technically, you could call yourself one, but it's what you do with it. How you use it. Or sometimes, even more importantly, how you don't. A lot of people want to install the latest stuff, have the latest programs. They want to sit in these chairs or try and get into even more advanced ones. But they don't know how to use what they have. I could chip you with the most advanced deck, but if you don't have 2 cents, they don't use pennies, I don't think, but if you don't have, we'll say 2 brain
pennies.
cells to rub together, then you don't know how to use it. You don't know how to be efficient with it, and you especially don't know when not to use it, because that can reveal a lot of stuff about you too. I don't know. I'll say this though, you showed up again. You're dressed better than you first were. You're putting... I get this isn't... Can't imagine this is what you hoped a grand offer for a job would be. But at least appreciate it as a compliment you could take away even if you turn it down. You've proven to me, D-Rez, that you have competency in your job. I think that you can be a net runner and not just a person who does net running things.
But I'm not there yet.
Maybe because I'm older and I've seen a few things in my time. I wouldn't say yet. You're close. And this
Something to think about.
Yeah, please do. And that's not meant to be an insult to you. If anything, I hope it actually springboards you so that you're curious about what actually will happen next. You don't treat it like a door shut in your face by someone who's pretty much a stranger. We've only known each other a couple days.
Well, might be ambitious of me to ask, but do you think you could put in a good word about some extra pay for this contract? Given how much I have helped the company?
I'm not so sure about that. If you were hired on as a mercenary, I think that'd be a lot easier. You're hired on as a netrunner to watch cameras. You have gone above and beyond, and frankly, me being able to offer you a full-time job is a pay bump in itself. I don't think there's anything I can do about your contract, and ultimately that'd be something that you need to talk to Bulldog about. But
I get the distinct impression he doesn't like me.
he doesn't like anyone. I think he hates himself.
I mean,
but you know what?
It's
kept this place
bullies
clean.
tend to... Yeah. Bullies tend to hate themselves more than they hate the people they're bullying.
I can't tell you it gets better the more you know him. He's been this way as long as I have. But at least he's a known quantity. And because he's a known quantity, I actually find that he's easier to work with or work around. He offers a rare bit of consistency for as negative as it is.
Hostile work environment much?
Yeah. Creative verbiage. I've learned a couple choice phrases from him also. But you know what? He's never been late on a payment. Keeps his place clean and running. And... well, I have my job because of him. And quite frankly, I think he's only here and pissed off because he has to be. He's usually doing a lot of other things. If he has to be called onto the floor, he's a lot grumpier. Not that he isn't if he's up in his office or if he's out doing other business. Given though the manager's
there's-
condition after that weird thing on Thursday, well, he has to be here.
There was
so.
that, and then there's yesterday's bomb. I mean, what's next?
We'll have to wait and see. Saturday is still young, my friend.
Oh,
But you look sharp doing it.
thanks.
I'm better than Bulldog.
Hmm.
She says, as she'll give you kind of a shrug and a smile, and leave you to your office to start monitoring cameras in the independent booths.
Hmm.
All right. Let's get. Oh, JP, you've rolled. Oh, nice, JP. You are looking sharp.
I know it's not the exact same role, but I have the same bonus for either personal grooming or wardrobe and style.
Yep, that's fine. I accept either. But this part's
yeah,
flexible
JP.
because some of you may have taken one or the other, and it all kind of goes into the general. Well, how are you appearing for work? That's fine.
I admittedly, on every Cyberpunk character I make, I always make those two skills the same value.
And
I
out
don't
of
know why,
character,
but
and I think we talked about this, but as a GM, because this is a very skill-based game, and especially with things you don't often see in like D&D and whatever, and this storyline or this particular like job is leaning into touching on as many of these as possible. But I made a vow to myself as a GM, and I don't think this would be spoilers, but to make sure that I am leaning into the appearance factor of this game, because it is a combat system in itself. It plays a ton into the society in which you live. So I'm not going to say it'll be like everywhere all the time, but at least with this first job as your very first role, and to stress that looking good for your, for a job is part of it, and that I as the GM am trying to be serious about that kind of appearance. And maybe later on, there would be something, I don't know, you need to go to a club, and I'm actually going to pull up what your wardrobe is, and you will not be able to get in there with them shoes. Right? So this is the sort of stuff that as the GM I will be leaning into, I'll be touching upon in different missions and whatever, but it is a part of the system in the game, and I want to make sure that it's always there, and it's not all combat, or it's not all I guess the skills we might be used to in games like D&D or Pathfinder or other things that are more common, evasion or combat skills, right? So I will be coming around and touching on wardrobe and style, personal grooming. I'll be looking at your drip and your fit. I'll be doing a lot of that over the course of the missions to come. But anyway, so you're looking really good. No problems in wardrobe. You pass muster, and you're set out to go do your work. You have a non-specific, just go and clean this sector. In fact, since I have this up, your morning job is to tend to the cafeteria and info booth area. So, there you go. Then, now Outback. You don't need to look any particular way, but you still exist, and you may very well be doing things inside or outside of the convention center. What is your plan for the morning?
Yeah. Well, I do want to make sure I'm looking good, clothing-wise. So, not bad.
Okay. Yeah, well, you certainly look better than a lot of people up and about today, especially at the show on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, and I guess he's just going to see what the pricing is to get in today.
Okay. Um. So standard tickets would be kind of pricey, even for a 1 day. But Saturday is still a big day, as there are still things to reveal. Like Sunday wouldn't be as much. Although because you have JP, you don't give him a ride, but you might be able to meet him or otherwise communicate with him. Um, Although you as a nomad, do you have any skills to, I guess, like find a scalper or to kind of like barter down or find discount tickets or something? Or would that be something
Yeah,
that JP
I
you
have.
can lean into? Or
I mean,
technically-
JP would probably do better, but I do have base 10 trading.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
anyone can technically make a trading check. Just fixers get some extra bonuses to making those trading checks, and
You add your fixer rank to it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing with me and my tech skills.
Yep.
Well, sure.
So, it's-
JP, if you want to find a deal, because it sounds like Outback wants to be in the convention today, but obviously not working the floor.
yeah, if history is to repeat itself, it could be helpful to be inside the building.
Sorry, was that you?
Yeah. So go ahead and make a trading check.
All right. Trading. I actually need to go roll it from here. I think.
In fact, we can even treat this as the job role that I'll be asking of you for the last part of the morning rolls. So,
JP says, thank you for contacting me for such services. I will quickly be back to you with any pending offers. And then I send Drake on his merry way to scour the city, that scalper.
yeah.
A true crit fail, and it's the GM this time, not me.
Yep. GM
All right.
crit fail.
Yeah. So JP, you're on you take the public transit, and as you get off the tram, there's a guy who seems to be really desperate. It's like, hey, anyone go to the convention center? Please, I got some tickets. I need to unload them. And having communicated, we can presume you would have done this in the morning. You go over and you hear, that there's a guy who he was supposed to go. He heard about the bomb and he is absolutely freaking out about it. He can't. He doesn't want to be in. He doesn't want to have any part of it. Like, he is like sweating, scared to death. Like, this event really spooked him, and as such, he is just desperate to unload these tickets. But other people heard about. Well, that's the electronic fair. Why was there an explosion? So in a market where people are jittery, and you have a person who's super jittery, you can take advantage of that. And with as well as you did and as poor as I did, I'll take 100 eddies, and you can have my ticket. I can't, and I don't want to lose everything. Can I at least get 100 for the ticket for the day?
So I shoot back Outback. Can you afford 100?
No problem. Better than what they're charging here at the stand.
It's okay, D-Res paid for it, right?
All right.
It's the last full day of this thing, and they're still asking for 350. So I'll take 100.
That'll be 110 eddies, and I'll get you that ticket in 30 minutes.
All right. I know you're upcharging me, but you do good work, so I subtract 110 here. God, the way they do it on this founder sheet, I have to add a negative 110 to my cash.
Yeah. They do a little goofy.
All right. You got your fixer's fee. There you go.
Why, thank you.
It's fixer's fee of €10.
That's right.
Now, so
I mean,
he hands over the tickets. JP, thank you. Look, no one was buying, and I'm glad you did. I hope it serves you well, and you see whatever there is. I didn't even bring this up, dude, but like that actually gets you into the show at night. It was a bit of a limited audience, kind of like there was for the EBM announcement. You know, I didn't quite bring that up because that might have spooked even more people away. I don't care if you go or not, but just so you know, that's not just a ticket for admittance, but a VIP pass.
That's wonderful, my friend. And I hope that this incident that you find yourself in flows smooth like the river.
Look, you just got me out of being just absolutely upset and nervous all day. I'm getting back on the tram, and if there's something big, I'll hear about it on TV, where I don't run the risk of exploding.
Sounds great.
He shakes your hand and he rushes off. As you look at the ticket, or the pass, or whatever, like the voucher for it, this does have admittance to the Arasaka tech demo at 8 p.m. tonight.
This is worth so much more than 10 eddies.
This ticket is worth way more than even the general admittance. But this guy was so spooked from what happened at the EBM announcement that he was willing to sell this Arasaka tech demo ticket for 100.
He's like, I don't need to be atomized by crazy ladies.
Or attacked by a cyber psycho.
I, of course, do not inform him of any of the extra bits that it comes with. He'll have to figure that out when he looks at it himself. I just go, I found you a ticket, and I think you're going to enjoy it.
Well, thank you.
Because JP doesn't like to brag about the things he finds, but he assumes that when people notice that he delivers, that speaks more than him being like, oh, look at how fancy of a thing I got you.
Yeah, well, we'll see if you just delivered a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's candy factory here.
I'd like to imagine that guy you bought it from, Night City's unluckiest guy. I'll hear about it if anything happens, and I won't blow up. And then he goes home to his CRTV that's underneath a dripping pipe.
Yep. And he knew it was dripping. He knew he should have fixed it, and if he wasn't home that night, it would have exploded, but not hit him. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Are you going to be
a little
parking in the expo? Are you going to be parking at the expo out back?
Yeah, out back. You're parked at the center.
Yeah.
Would you mind if I left my hand cannon in your car?
No problem. A little console area where you normally have cup holders. He just has gun holders.
So, he reaches into his suit jacket and pulls out that huge Mustang's arm pistol with the attached silencer and slots it in. I think it'll be easier to run out here and collect it if anything crazy happens than try and go through code check.
Probably, especially since if ever anything does happen, everyone's going to be heading to go check.
And keep it in mind, if you're out here when something happens, that thing's silenced.
I'll keep it in mind.
All right, I gotta go put on that silly little jumper uniform that they got for us.
All right, well, I'll see you in there.
So then we had our retroactive scene, and then we catch up to you putting on the uniform and looking really sharp for it. I guess then also speaking of some retroactive stuff, Outback, man, did you see the holographic plans for that awesome parking garage they have for the stadium? It has like elevators in it, and it is huge. It's this big underground thing. I don't know if that left an impression on you even more than the stadium, but just that thing could be filled with cars.
Yeah, and when it's not, it can be really good for some drifting.
There are some young people like, oh man, we could parkour all through that. Like, no, what are you talking about? And
Pretty sure when they're planning to build that, it runs right by an old unused end cart station. Knock a wall down, you got a good route.
So the morning continues on as we exist in the same space but at different times here. The next role, and this would be for all three of you because we've already taken care of the job role for JP here. But I do want, after the events that took place, each of you are going to be asked to make I'm asking you as the GM to make a security roll because similar to after you found out, oh, there's the little discs and everything, you need to do a sweep. You need to understand the security protocols or look for devices and such. So I want all three of you, Outback, you don't have to do this, obviously. I want the three of you to make a security check, please.
I assume that's the security tech check.
Yeah, if that was abbreviated from the skill list, and not just
security tech.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because security is not a skill in and of itself.
Yeah, electronic security tech is the skill.
Yeah, I might have I might have taken the description or what it does, but not put down the proper skill name for it.
Yeah, because what it does, I mean, that's one of the things security does. Yeah. You can also argue criminology for that idea too.
And this could be, if not sweeping, this could be all right. Well, Bulldog had some new stuff implemented. You need to be aware of generally how this type of alarm works or something. And this is, well, how competent are you? Yeah, that's right. Electronic/security tech. All right. Skill of identifying, understanding, repairing, countering, and installing. Yep. Okay.
Wow.
31.
No. Oh yeah.
Goes above and
Mega
beyond
critted.
and installs anti-sniffers.
The person who was hired to do electronics and security tech rolled high in electronics and security tech. Who would have guessed?
Who knew? Who'd have thunk?
Don't worry,
The person whose job this is knows how to do this job.
And with Gopher being just non-charismatic, you're just so nonchalant about this. You just show up and just do everything as the golden child, but you don't smile, you don't flip your hair. You show up, you perform, and you're not playing to the crowd, or you're not the Gaston, with that winning smile, or you're just extremely competent, but you're not flexing on anyone either, and which could be its own good thing.
You're that guy that all the other coworkers are like, hey, do you know that guy's name? I'm like, no, he's worked here 10 years and the most I've ever heard out of him is
But man, he shows up and he does his job. Everyone relies on him, but no one knows who he is. He's like the hermit or something.
I have no idea. Hey, look, my Christmas bonus was blah blah blah. Mine was blah blah blah. I heard his was 5 times more. Wait, what? I've never talked to that guy. What does he do here? Oh, he's the CFO.
All right. So in the orientation of things, they are putting out some extra security. This is kind of going over the protocol. Here's a device for, if you're passing by someplace and it goes beep, 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 this is what it means. It's kind of a placeholder just to indicate that there's a greater security presence now, and that that you need basic training. D-Res, you did not beat the threshold, you just met it, but for what you do, I'm kind of treating this in the same contextual consideration that Gopher really didn't show up looking the best, but he's really been good at other things. in this case, you know, as Dietz, I guess before she left, you know, you had your time, but she's like, hey, I need you to, you know, speaking of Bulldog, here's this. Just so you know, it's this. If you're, I don't know where you'd go, but everyone has to have these. I don't know. You're going to the bathroom and this thing goes beep beep beep. Then it means this. You know, and you're like, got it. I just want to do my job, and I won't put words in your mouth. I'm kind of fast forwarding through. You got it. You got zero.
Mm.
You're right. You didn't advance beyond the basic threshold. You're not fired or in trouble for it. Dietz isn't expecting you to patrol around, or to innately understand this device, because for all you know, your bare minimum is keep your butt in that chair. I mean, beyond like lunch breaks or a bathroom break or something, you just keep your butt in that chair and watch the cameras for 12 hours. Like, that's really what you're expected to do. If you do more, you know, in the case that if you're up and you're doing extra stuff, because maybe that could result in other opportunities or payouts,
Mm.
you know, and you get the beep beep beep, we'll consider it, but we'll see what happens on this Saturday. But you didn't really pass, but you weren't like penalized for it. It's not like, hey, why aren't you paying attention, or oh, you're about to lose your job, because you haven't really been fucking up a lot. Uh, and she doesn't expect you to have to be super competent with this device, but she does. She is required to train all the employees. You know, standard issue. Anyway, we get to the. She shrugs, smirks about Bulldog, and walks off, leaving you to your chair and to watch the cameras. So we're having some fluid morning time, in the order of things here, as we're building our narrative and setting up for the events of the day. Now, JP, you know, with anything going on, you did pass the security check. It doesn't mean you found anything, but it just means, hey, you have some knowledge of this, and you know, if anyone, you're more important in going around as like a mobile bomb sniffer or whatever else. But you already did your job role, and you did it very well. So now, from the setup or any of the conversational things or the job things, I'm going to ask Gopher and Drez, what are you doing for your morning job role? What would you like to do? This could get you information, or if you want to seek ingratiation, if you want to do something else, you tell me. We have our setup. What are you doing for the morning that could, I don't know, answer a question or prompt something you never thought about? It's been a quiet morning.
Drez is still very much concerned with any other sort of like attacks going on in the that might go on in the convention center space, and so she's really keeping an eye out for anyone who might be doing anything suspicious. And she's keeping hyper vigilant. Like she even wants to see if she can find, you know, if there's a little bit of research time too, to see if there's any kind of known beef going on between any of the convention like workers that would cause any of them to want to attack other corps in the convention space, aside from, you know, general this corp hates that corp.
Yeah. Okay. In this case, for this role, because both of these will offer information but different types, do you want to go net running for your job and probe the digital waters of activity, traffic, you know, on the lookout for attacks, or do you want to spend your morning doing the database or like the comparisons, looking for rivalries or trying to piece together information? And that would be more of a, not that it's not net running, but that's more of the figuring out puzzles and doing database research, as opposed to being in the web and doing web things for your morning shift.
I think she would prioritize looking for new threats and seeing what she can do to either call them out or stop them.
Okay, in the net. This is in
the net.
cyberspace. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a your basic net running roll.
Interface check. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Don't be panicked that I rolled higher. Right now, you are seeing a lot of low-level traffic moving through the network. Now, you have been given particular purview over the connections to the independent booths.
Yes.
And while you are not in Arasaka's network, either their own or any sort of bandwidth they're getting through the convention center, you are noticing a lot of increased web activity today that you did not see in your training on Wednesday of, this is a normal day by the books, so compare whatever you experience on the following days to half-day training, average. Or Thursday's experienced traffic, even the modified stuff. That just seemed to be like trickstery or messing with people. Or Saturday, or Friday. You are seeing, even in your realm of the independent networks, a lot of activity. And while you haven't caught anyone, how could I explain this? We'll use D&D terms. You are a guard on the parapet of a castle, and you're looking for the enemy approaching. You see a lot of really suspicious people in the field outside the castle. They're there, and it very much is concerning. You do not see anyone who has climbed over the castle wall or who has infiltrated the castle. Though there may very well have been someone that has done so, you have not seen it. You have seen a lot of people who are staring at the castle that weren't there before, and could be enemies or not, because this is a big Arasaka. They've been banned from the city, and they have a very notorious reputation. It kind of, even if I recall, it ruffled your all's feathers as the characters. Why are they here? Why do they have their, they were hiring people even for this event. So, at least a yellow flag. Even the independent booths, wittingly or unwittingly, are using or being used to ferry information, traffic, or observation of the event today. You did not catch anyone who has snuck into the castle. I rolled higher than you. It is what it is. You can suspect that maybe people have, and maybe D-Rez does, because she's a paranoid person. You didn't catch anyone, but yes, there is at least this yellow alert that online, on the cameras, people are acting normal. They're just walking up, shaking hands, and talking, but offline, in meet space, everyone is normal for the convention. What the normies don't see that you do is the web traffic is really concerning to you. It is elevated and consistent, and even coming from or through the independent internet networks. Not even the big accounts that presumably Dietz or other full-timers would be assigned to monitor.
Okay.
I hope I tried to be vivid in my explanation?
Mhm.
Like, was I all right with that? Did I convey the message?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think for Drez, she's definitely keeping an eye out for that, but she's also going to shoot Deets a message saying there's something suspicious going on and kind of point it out that I'll continue to monitor it, but something just isn't right.
You'll get a message back. Noted. Seeing heavy traffic on my end as well. For tonight, I'm going to give you partial. I'm going to give you partial access to your chair's capabilities. So,
Acknowledged.
and after the acknowledged, I don't know. You could tell me how it would feel because it's a weird. It's a weird. What's the name for it? You hear colors and you taste sounds.
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia. So net running has this kind of synesthesia to it, so you can describe it. But your chair that you've networked through, but it's never been like fully. She said that it can do more for you. Mechanically, you're going to get a +2 to your net running rolls because it's opening up extra processing, and it's sort of unburdening some of your stuff and putting it into the chair. You described to me how it feels, but after you say acknowledged, your chair is more than a pass-through. It like turns on, and I don't know. You tell us how it feels to get a mechanical +2 to your net running rolls now that you're hooked through this machine.
So, when that happens, Drez kind of feels a buzzing in her chest and in the back of her head. It's like the colors that she sees in her virtue of net space become a little clearer. Objects become a little more defined. They're a little less matrix code and maybe a little bit more solid to the to the eye when she's in virtue and in net space completely. Where normally she'd be looking back and forth between meat space and net space, where this almost kind of puts her completely, not completely blind to meat space, but in a way the overlay has become more active, where the pathways through the net that she sees are more clearly delineated, where, like I said, the colors of the meat of the net space are a little bit more clear. Objects are a little bit more solid looking, where she feels more confident going where she's going in the net space because she feels more solid in her steps. She imagines that in the net space that she's walking through hallways and doors, and that the avatar that she has in this net space are all things she can see.
Okay.
Even though it's really kind of just an overlay in her mind.
It's better blended now.
Yes.
Okay. I like that. Okay. So there's a yellow flag. Your resources have been upped because of of what you've noticed in your communication with your superior as well.
Coming to trust Deeds.
Okay. Gopher. For your job, you tell me, and this could even be what you think EBM would ask you to do. It doesn't have to be me prompting you with that. either what do you want to do for EBM, or do you want to phrase it in? Well, yeah, I think EBM would be asking me to set this up or do this one thing. What are you doing for your job this morning? You did really well in the security. You're like, oh, okay, here's some new tech. Maybe you want to employ it in some way or enhance it. I don't know. You tell me. You have a lot of possibilities, but the morning is yours. Or if you want to research info that could set up for something, it's all up to you.
Give me a sec, let me find.
All my stuff just broke for a second.
I think for the morning, I'm kind of gonna do a sweep through the EBM zone
Okay.
and just make sure, you know, things are still set up as they're supposed to be.
Ah, okay. Yeah, hey, there was a lot of foot traffic through the display area. And you know, obviously there's a threat against them. Okay. So now doing this, do you want to do another, are you doing like a security sweep? Are you like physically checking devices with like a tech check? What skill do you want to route through what you're doing? And your successes or not success at it will give you information that skill would be appropriate for.
They'll probably be, you know, making sure everything's still set up as it's supposed to be, or if there's any kind of tweaking kind of thing, like how it was on the first day there. So I'm gonna do a basic tack,
Sure.
I think.
Okay.
18.
Not too shabby. Very good. All right. So you mastered the new tech. In fact, we could even say that EBM. You know, we'll sweeten the pot. We'll say EBM is supplying the security sensors that everyone is getting trained on. And you know, you did a very good job of that. A lot of people are grateful to have these sort of like bomb sniffers or other, you know, whatever the security does. In a general concept, if there's a security related issue that comes up, or if I ask you all to prompt, well, I you know, I want to do something security related. Well, we know we have a general security device, so that could enhance a role or something, maybe. But now you're moving on, and you know, there are some things to repair in the EBM display. Now, this is not on the demo stage. All that's been torn down, and everyone's returned now back to the main area. And even in the morning, because they were the big presenter last night, there's a lot of foot traffic. People love spinning the hologram because the stadium's very round. It's a wheel. It's all the foot traffic though. It has worn, like some people will walk by and, you know, a plug will get pulled or some stuff has been dented and scratched just because there's so many people, and someone walks by and they bump into stuff, or I don't know, there could have been a kid that's with just a regular congoer who, you know, the parent got caught up in talking about something, geeking out over some tech. The kid gets bored, comes over, pulls some wires. You haven't found anything that would be, well, like a bomb or this is espionage, dun dun dun. But you found enough to do with the heavier traffic that you have successfully kept the area functioning through the morning, which is fine. That's progress in itself. It's not even just treading water, like you are swimming. Because if you didn't, then the hologram would have gone down, or wires would have been pulled, and now EBM looks like they're incompetent or that they can't keep their booth running. You have managed to outpace the busy EBM area. You have kept everything running. So that's a good job. And along the way, there were no apparent, or at least sniffed out, security threats. Physical manifestation. Of course, during lunch break, if you all wish to communicate, well, D-Res, if you wish to communicate what you found to the others, I presume you will. And in fact, we're going to find out because we're coming to the lunch break because you finished your mornings. So obviously, JP and D-Res can sit together in the employee cafeteria section if you want to share meet space together. D-Res, you have a lunch break, but you are asked if you can abbreviate it or get back earlier. Like, Dietz is allowing you to get up and unplug if you wish. If you don't, and you want to stay on guard, you can, and she'll just, I don't know, what would they do? Like, bring you like a nutrient paste and just like, all right, well, while you're skating, open your mouth. All right, get back to work. If you want that, you can have it and stay on guard duty. Or she's at least willing to give you a lunch break. Nothing bad has happened where she's like, no, you can't leave. This is an emergency. It's just a yellow flag. It's a tense time. So that part will be up to you, but you can share meet space with JP. And Outback, you won't be allowed in the employee cafeteria, but, you know, you are in a position where you could share meet space with D-Res and or JP as they are walking from their places, like through the normie cafeteria, through like the congoer cafeteria section to their own little side area for employees. So you could do that. You wouldn't as easily be able to do that with Gopher. You could see him, but he's very busy with what he was doing for his job. Like, he's not going to have time to chat, and he's going to go to the separate EBM employee canteen for what he's doing. So while you could probably get like a sentence or two into him, you're much more likely to be able to interact with those two. Or if you choose, because you're kind of you're the floater, you're the rogue agent here. If you want to do something different for lunch break, not that you're on a lunch break, but whatever, you can narrate to me what you want to do. If you want to go poke around someplace, sniff around, listen, or interact. But why don't we get up in our IRL meet space? Let's take a quick break. Bio, snack, drinks, whatever you all need. We'll come back in about 10 minutes. We'll have our lunch, our afternoon, and depending on how the afternoon goes, maybe we'll have our evening and finish out Saturday as well. We'll see. I don't want to rush this. This is the pacing, the skills, the conversation. This has been a very good session tonight. I've been super happy with it. There's no need to rush it. Anyway, let's get up, everyone. You all in the audience, we're going to take a break, and we will see you back real soon.